California Spring Trials is Fashion Week for our industry, or maybe you can think of it like the auto show. A chance to see many of the coolest new products available for upcoming seasons. Dozens of global breeding companies and innovative plant introduction companies set up along the California coast in early spring to showcase new crops that have been in development for years, even decades. New series, additions, upgrades, and sometimes brand new plants are grown out and discussed in detail for the better part of a week to drive interest from visiting growers, retailers, and distribution companies. It's also a time to catch up with old friends, solidify strategic partnerships, and revel in the beauty created by our industry. We've done this for decades and we'll do it again in 2026 from March 24th to 27th. Registration is managed by the National Garden Bureau and you can sign up to secure your spot at caspringtrials.us. In fact, registration is essential. A quick reminder before we get started. New for this year, if you're visiting a location with more than one exhibiting company, like most of them, registration by location means you register for all companies when you schedule your appointment at caspringtrials.us. But be sure to allocate plenty of time for stops with multiple companies. One click doesn't mean one quick visit. Take, for example, the Head Start Nursery Stop or the Santa Barbara Polo Club. You can register for the location, but you'll need to allocate time for all of the exhibiting companies, and that can mean as many as 100 new varieties. Last but not least, check out the suggested itineraries at caspringtrials.us. If 2026 will be your first time visiting the trials, or you haven't been in a few years, they will be very helpful. Let's hear about some of the things you'll see and experience at Spring Trials this year. I'm your host, Bill Calkins, and today, as part of our Spring Trials preview mini-series, I'm here with Jim Devereux from Greenfuse to hear about what the company has in store for us this March. It'll be a quick conversation, although we probably could have a long conversation, but the goal is to inspire you to register and start thinking ahead as you plan your crop mix for the future. Jim, welcome to the podcast.
Bill, my pleasure. Happy to be here.
Every trial location is different, and the location that you guys exhibit at is fantastic. You have a handful of different companies. You have some lemons. But if you want to maybe start by describing the general vibe of your stop, where you're located, and anything about this year's theme, that would be great.
Yeah, so we're doing it a little bit different this year. So for those of you who haven't joined us before for CAST, I think we tend to have a pretty picturesque setting. So we're located in the middle of a lemon grove. Sounds a bit ridiculous. My partner Steve and I were not lemon farmers up until a few years ago. And I can't say we're great at farming lemons, but we're pretty good at putting on a nice party for CAST. So this year, along with our partners who, Bill, as you know, have been there plenty of times, we have multiple people that are exhibiting at our site that are not only friends of ours, really great breeding companies that bring exceptional quality and genetics to the market. So this year, as in years past, we're having Beacon Camp, Hem, Schonenfeld, Rooted in Solutions, which is also part of the Firefly commercialization program for the bioluminescent petunia, Quality Cuttings, and Westhoff. So every year before when we start doing the planning for CAST, we sit around and try to think of a theme, being that we're amazingly all very good friends. Most of the time, we just sit around thinking up stupid stuff and laughing about it. And this year, one of them stuck. So the theme this year is Feeling Grovey. So a throwback to our Ventura base, as well as a call out to the lemons. And, you know, we all have quite a few tie-dyes still. It's tucked away in our closet.
I like it. That'll be fun. Maybe Chris, Jen, and I will have to wear some tie-dye out to the Grove this year. I have some. I don't know about Jen. She's pretty put together. Chris might have some, although he's a surfer. But no, that sounds great. And you guys do have a good mix and complementary genetics across the different companies. But with Greenfuse, we're never quite sure what we're going to see. Sometimes you have some wild cards that are a lot of fun, and which we really always appreciate your site and the hospitality. But can you tell the listeners a little bit about, let's look back to 2025. What was a big hit from the Greenfuse trial, either commercially or something you guys liked, however you want to approach it?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for all of our guests was one, the margarita truck, and then two, Petunia Firefly. I mean, when you come out with the first ever bioluminescent plant, it really garners a lot of attention. And Bill, I think you did it with Chris. We even had a dark room set up.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we're in the middle of beautiful California sunshine. So we had people acclimate themselves and then go into a warehouse space to see Firefly glow. That, without question, was definitely the buzz. Do you agree? Did you like it?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
get in there? Yeah.
Oh, yes, it was awesome. And that was the first time I'd seen more than just one plant.
Yeah.
And when we walked in and our eyes adjusted, the glow it was kind of like out of this world kind of look, like something alien like, but you really got a sense of bioluminescence and what it means, because I think, yeah, it's hard to understand until you see it, and the way you guys presented it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, working with it every day and every night, which is a new one for me, man. I'm a morning person, so this one's killing me a bit. But watching people walk out of that dark room last year was probably the most fun I've had at Cast, maybe ever. It just the look of pure awe and what the hell did I just see on their
Oh,
face
yeah.
was a lot of fun, Bill. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep, I would definitely echo that. That was a really cool way that you guys showed that plant off. Actually, another crop that I remember out of the green fuse space were the fuchsias, which is kind of an old school plant, but I love them. I hang them on my porch every year, early in the season, and they're so awesome. So I will give a shout out to your new fuchsias. What were they called? It was
The wind chimes.
Wind chimes. Yeah, it was continuation of a classic.
Yeah, so last year we added a couple new colors, and it's one of those things, as you're saying, fuchsia is one of the oldest plants in cultivation, right? We've been doing it forever. It dates back to, I think, the first finished fuchsia pots were about 1865 out of England.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is not reinventing the wheel, but rehybridizing and getting a fuchsia on a compact chassis that's staying like neutral, and then coming out with new colors. It's a really big deal. And not to give too much information, but we're doing another big fuchsia display this year and calling out some new colors. And unbelievably, this is our best fuchsia sales year in the history of Green Fuse. So maybe getting people to look at it at Cast does something for you.
I think so, and not to take this quick podcast in all sorts of directions, but I do think that when you look at a new innovation like Firefly and attracting new consumers to our market, they will remember the old varieties as well that maybe they've seen in their past, seen in their childhood, and just because maybe our industry doesn't too psyched about standard plants that we're all used to seeing, I think today's new consumer does, and we need to remember that. And fuchsia is one of those plants. The blooms are beautiful. It's used widely, and something that I think can really catch on with a new generation of shoppers in garden centers.
I totally agree. And I think companies like Ball, like Syngenta, like Duman, like Beacon Camp, I think a lot of these really phenomenal breeding companies are able to take what we consider more old school plants, something we're very familiar with, but do breeding to make them more consumer friendly, just to put in a little bit more attribute to it, whether it's pH tolerance or heat tolerance or daylight neutrality, but something that the end consumer actually feels without realizing the work behind it. That's
Yeah,
our goal anyway.
I think that's a really good point. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about what it takes to put on an event like this? I consider you guys one of the OGs of California Spring Trials. Before your name was Green Fuse, you guys were still at Spring Trials exhibiting plants. And so when you think about what it takes to put on an event like this, and really what attendees will gain from visiting your site.
I think the biggest thing is paying attention to what you screwed up the year before.
There you go.
That said, our overall philosophy, and something that we do in internal team meetings within Green Fuse, as well as with the meetings with our partner, is whether you come to look at a specific breeder or a specific plant or you want to do, you're in a hurry, you're trying to do the whole trials in just a couple days. So you want to power walk everyone's display and see what stands out. But our overall goal is to make each one of our customers want to hang out. We want you to have a lemonade in the sun and just chill in the lemon grove. We want you to spend time talking with your breeders. So in order to do that, to put on the whole kit and caboodle, the whole show, we want to make sure there's something for everyone. That goes to your meal choice, your beverage, your seating, the temperature, the shade, what have you. We try to think as much in the hospitality mind frame as we can and get out of our dorky little breeder heads for just a minute. So we want to show our appreciation to the customer. I think in the past few years, we've done a nice job in the comments. Most of the time I want them to talk about the plants, but I don't mind them talking about how they hung out in the backyard of our offices and just enjoyed the day. Getting people to feel comfortable. Hey, that's what sales is, I guess, huh, Bill?
No, it's very true. And spring trials is that unique opportunity. It's very different than a trade show or a field trial in the summer. You really do get a chance to enjoy the hospitality and the dorky breeder stuff and the sales angle, marketing. It covers the whole range of what it takes to bring a plant to market. And it is one of the only opportunities to do that. That's why we've been doing it for so long and continue to do it.
Well, and I think we as breeders or product representatives, we spend so much time in our customers' greenhouses. It's nice to have them come and see us and hang out and kind of see what we're doing in the background. Not only with new breeding, but old breeding, as we've talked about, the tried and true production and, just personally how things are going. You get so much more interaction face to face. It just can't be replaced.
Absolutely. So now we got to get to the question that I think a lot of people tune in for. Can you shout out a few of the new varieties that your team's most excited to showcase at 2026 spring trials, sneak preview, however much you want to give away?
So yeah, for sure. And this is always the fun part of being a breeder. So
Right.
People don't necessarily see the 5, 6, 7, 8 years of background frustrations. They just see the new pretty thing. And it's the most exciting moment for us. So we have one of our top sellers for green fuse is Tridoscanthia, which
Okay.
I think as you're savvy too, we don't really use the common name anymore, but Tridoscanthia, we have a pistachio white, which is a very stable, clean, variegated plant, heavy on the branching, which people just love. And, it's kind of amazing to me because in just a few short years we've had it out on the marketplace, it really has skyrocketed to be in the top 5 selling units for green fuse. We finally were able to do enough breeding to get a stabilized new color in that pistachio white, which is pistachio pink. Really, really vibrant. It's the few people I've shown it to have already said, how many and when can I get it?
Oh, yeah.
Another thing is I'll do it more of a teaser because I want to be able to explain it to everyone face to face. But we have a completely new genus in perennials. This is, trust me, this is going to get you and Chris with all sorts of questions, but it's a brand new genus in zone hardy, ever blooming perennial that I can guarantee you guys have never seen before. We've been working with it in the background at Green Fuse for 8 years now, and have finally got it ready for commercial. So this is something that Google will come in handy. It's super cool.
Okay, that's good because just the spelling alone, we're going to have to take close notes.
You're exactly right. Trust me, I keep screwing it up on PowerPoint presentations.
Nice.
And then last, but probably really the foremost is we're going to entice everyone with a few new colors of Firefly Petunia.
Oh, wow.
So we do have some new ones. And more importantly, Bill, we have some for the landscape. So right now, everyone's saying, hey, it looks great on my patio, great on my patio. Now let's get it looking great in your garden too. So all that is coming for you, but hey, only if you show up to cast.
I like it. I couldn't have said it any better. Well, this sounds great. I'm super psyched. I like your stop. I like the people. I like the plants. I like the food truck. Yeah, it's never a disappointment. It is always a lot of fun and something we look forward to. It sounds fantastic. Jim, thank you so much for your time today.
Looking forward to seeing you in just a couple months, Bill.
I know it's coming up.
Yeah,
Speaking
man.
of coming up, now is the time to head over to the National Garden Bureau registration site at caspringtrials.us. You'll find a link in the show notes. Get registered, bring a bunch of people, enjoy your time in the lemon grove, and don't forget to subscribe to the Tech on Demand podcast on your favorite app. That way you will never miss an episode.